Oh, we are live. So good
Yes.
evening, everyone. Look, I'm like, do we see us? We are live.
Hold on, let me share it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course,
So
everybody
good
wants
e-
to.
so good evening, everyone. So Jamila and I, we just chatting. We decided to start this every Tuesday, 9:30 countdown to the primary to share resources, share some information, probably share a joke or two, to get us ready for our entire city government to turn over. Jamila, you want to add something?
No, that's why we're on, and we know the resources are out there. There's no shortage of information, but most people don't even know how to access the information, or that there is information out there. So really, we're just pretty much providing a bridge for everyone, just a real hands-on technical explanation of some really basic stuff to keep you engaged and informed. But these resources, of course, are all public resources that you could all access as well. That's
Exactly.
but if you don't know, you don't know. There's a phrase,
Exactly.
you don't know what you don't know, right?
You don't know what you don't know. So while I'm over here sharing it, y'all can already see on the screen. We already got ready. So we have something up. So the first resource we're sharing is the New York City absentee ballot request. So you can actually do this online, and the website is easy peasy, nycabsentee.com. So you can go right here. You can just request your absentee ballot. There's the absentee ballot application. Click on the button. Look at that. Request your absentee ballot. And actually, you can request a ballot for friends, for relatives,
Hmm.
anyone who may need it, who doesn't have access to the internet. And you just need to have this information available for them. And then you hit continue. Or look at that. For further assistance, you can also call 866 VOTE NYC. There's a website, absentee help at boe.nyc. And look at that, right on the website. Two or
And
three.
also, Nicole, just make
Go
sure
ahead.
they know, like, they have to put the name exactly how it appears on the voter file
Mm,
so it can be found.
yes, exactly. Everything has to match the voter file. That's with all of this. So wherever you're registered to vote, etc., that has to be the same. Now we're at This is NYC Absentee. So we'll drop that link in the chat as well so you can be informed. But that's it, nycabsentee.com to request an absentee ballot. Now, the other thing though, we want to make sure that you know where to find your, you want to check your voter registration. You want to make sure that that's up to date. Whoops, that. Oh, their vote.nyc. Hold on. I didn't want to go to my email address. I wanted to go to my website. See, this is the fun part about going live. So we have some voter resources. So listen, I was like, if I'm sharing resources, I should share my own webpage, right? Makes sense. So we have New York State resources. So there's a little blip about early voting, but you can also check your voter registration status.
Mm.
So that's going to be very important because the voter registration deadline is May 28th. And someone could, you could be purged from the rolls by mistake. It's happened.
It has happened before. Remember, I think it was
Was it
2016 when like 200,000 people were purged
exactly
from the polls. My sister was one of them.
right?
So
And I had
always
a
check.
friend. Yep, and I had a friend that was also purged from the rolls, and they vote all the time. Did not miss an election, but was went to the poll site. I mean, luckily, that person is connected. We're very active in the community, so it's like, hey, what's going on? And he was able to call somebody about it. But if you're not, you know, that can be definitely, ruffle your feathers, get you upset, and we were upset still, but it's not as easy to like prove and say, hey, I should be on here, etc. So always check your voter registration status, even if you think it's current and up to date. And so this is the voter lookup elections.ny.gov. And this is New York State information because we're talking about New York City. So you just pick your county, find your county here. And as Jamila said a few minutes ago, this information has to match what you use to register to vote. So, for instance, maybe you used your maiden name and not your married name when you were registered. That's the information you need to use when you check at these websites. Or let's say you moved and never updated your voting information. That's the zip code you need to use, the last one where you were registered, to
Hmm.
check your registration status. And so again, just getting you ready because May 28th is the voter registration deadline. You got anything to add here, Jamila?
No, I mean, if we're just looking it up, I think that's the most important thing. That's the first step. Like when you're voting, you have to have a plan because anything can go wrong, and you definitely don't want your right to vote to to lose that opportunity. So just make sure you know before you go, and that way you can encounter, if there's anything that you encounter, any issues, any trouble, you can rectify that long before election day. That's the most important piece.
And that's actually my motto is know before you go. Like there's no reason that all these this is public information. These are websites that are readily available. It's just, you just have to know where to find it. So it's voterlookup.elections.ny. The URL is right here. Or you could just type in New York State voter lookup. And this is our New York State Board of Elections website, voter registration and poll site search. But we're going to go back, we're going to take it back to the city. So again, I'm going back to my page because I put all the resources right on the page. This is a New York State resources page. So even though I have something else that shows nationwide resources, you know, I'm a New York City girl, so I got to represent.
No, but this
So
is fine because everything is in one spot. Most people don't know there's a New York City Board of Elections, there's a New York State Board of Elections. They're hopping around. Then there's also Campaign Finance Board. So you can just go to this one place.
yes, yes, one stop shop, one stop shop. Now the next thing we're gonna go to is the poll. Now we could go to the poll site locator, or we could just go straight to vote.nyc. So I'm going to go here because vote.nyc, which is the New York City Board of Elections website, is a pretty good resource. I think we could call them a one-stop shop as well. So let's pop in over here and see what they're doing. All right. So they have information on ranked choice voting. So we talked about this last week on Instagram on this impromptu 9 something at night. We said we're gonna just we going live on the gram. We want to talk about this election. We want to make sure people are not only informed but are aware that our whole city government is turning over. Jamila, I feel like I've been talking. Tell them what's going on June 22nd.
Everything is going on, and the election ends on June 22nd. It starts during early voting on June 12th. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's June 12th, right?
June 12th, yes, we are 32 days away from early voting and 42 days or 6 weeks away from election day, which I now call the last day to vote in New
It's
York.
the last day.
It's the last day. It's
If
not the
your
first
ballot's
day.
not in the mail, it's the last day to vote in person, to drop off your ballot like in a at a poll site, whatever. But if you want to do that in person. But for the first time, not for the first time, but for in a very long time, this is like one of the few times in a very long time that we had so many seats up for reelection. But this is a municipal election, so all of
Mhm.
our citywide seats are up for reelection. That's mayor, public advocate, all of city council, comptroller, the 5 borough presidents. And then there are also some additional races happening in other boroughs as well. But it's really important because all of those municipal elections, the ones that I actually mentioned, are all the ones that will be using ranked choice voting. So when you're voting for someone for mayor, you're able to pick up to 5, you're able to rank up to 5 candidates. And that's how you're ranking your vote. So your vote is ranked, from the first person all the way down to the 5th person, according to your preference on their policy agendas. So I'll leave it at that because I know we don't have a lot of time.
Yes, because we're doing 30 minutes. But since you
Mhm.
mentioned ranked choice voting, I had to go to rank the vote, NYC.org. So this is a nonprofit partner that is helping to educate communities on ranked choice voting. So we even have some sample mock elections here. There's all sorts of resources and information. We can also train you on ranked choice voting, talk to you about, tell you what it's all about, break it down for you. We have some folks doing that. Or if you want to help us get the word out, you can also join us. We're looking for organizers. So that's something you can do to help spread the message. But I popped over to vote.nyc and let's see, understanding the ballot. So look at this. So look, understanding the ballot. Now you can find this on the website if you know where to go, or you can just go to NYC poll site locator. Look at that. NYC poll site locator. Find my poll site, view my sample ballot, and this is also from the Board of Elections. Find my poll site, vote.nyc. Now there's also, now look at this. You can find your poll site and view your sample ballot. So a couple of people said to me, well, how will I know, what's on my ballot, like what's going to happen, what should I look for? And a lot of people don't realize that you can view your sample ballot in advance of the election. So let me just
Mm-hmm.
pop in an address here. And if you're from uptown, you already know what this address is.
What address is that?
The Harlem State Office Building.
Oh, okay.
So, showing the results, 163 West 125th Street, your poll site information for the election. So check this out. So now it's telling you, and it's also letting you know New York City is using ranked choice voting for primary and special elections, has information on where to go to find details on ranked choice voting and what that means, and the early voting site, early voting dates, June 12th to June 20th. You see the hours below, but now it's telling you Wadley High School is the early voting site, where to enter. And look at this, look at the times right here. So the dates and the times for early voting are all listed here. Then your election day information is here. Notice how that's different from the early voting site. So PS 154, Wadley High School, and it's giving you your ADED information, which is this number corresponds to the table you need to go to when you go in and vote. And how do you know what your ballot's going to look like?
There you go. Click on that.
And here we are. So look, display contest for the party. So the one thing about primaries is that you have to be a registered member of that political party in order to vote in the primary. So if you're not a registered Democrat, unfortunately, you cannot vote in the Democratic primary. There are Republican primaries, conservative, working families. So if you're a Democrat, you leave that there, and you see mayor citywide, and so you see who's going to be on the ballot for mayor. Then you see public advocate citywide, and you see all the candidates for public advocate. We have comptroller that's going to be on the ballot. So here are all the candidates for comptroller. We also have borough president. We're electing an entirely new city government, all borough presidents. Then district attorney. So Manhattan is also electing a district attorney. There are all the candidates. City council, District 9. There's a lot of people running. And so this is what you expect on your ballot when you go to vote early or on June 22nd. And let's see, now that's if you're a Democrat. Let's see, if you're a Republican, let's see what you have to look forward to. And this is all. Mayor citywide, there'll be 2 people running. Let's see if there's anything on the conservative, no contest. Working families, no contest. So if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you will have to go and vote in
Yep.
New York City in just a few short weeks. So that is poll site locator. So what else do we want to go through? So we already told you poll site, early voting information. We went through that. Checking your voter registration. Went through that.
We did the sample ballot, right?
We did. We did. We just went through it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the past, the sample ballot, I was really hoping that we had, before they actually showed you a sample of the ballot, which was kind of really close to what it was going to look like the actual grid with everything, like the ballot itself. So maybe that'll be up a little later, but this will give you a great idea of, at least who's running. So you know what
Yeah.
to expect.
Yeah, especially because the problem most people have is that they don't know who the candidates are.
Right.
So we know the ballot's going to look different because of ranked choice voting. So it'll say all the candidates on the left side, and then across the top, it would have the, first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice. Um, but if you don't know who the candidates are, when you get there, you don't want to be confused and thinking to yourself, like, well, who do I put as my first, second, third, fourth, and fifth? So this gives you an opportunity to now go and research. I think this is where the New York City Votes website comes in, where they have like all the candidates and their platforms. I find the campaign finance board to be very helpful when it comes to researching candidates and figuring out what they're interested in and if whether or not it aligns with what I want as a voter. That's my personal opinion.
No, oh, you know what? I also heard about this other good resource, Elect NYC. So this is also a new site that provides information on candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was put together by Citizens Union. There you go. So hold on, let's see what we can find out. We're here to help. So it's everything you need to know. Go to your voter guide. So let's go to our voter guide. So let's see. Search by candidate or race.
Yeah, do by race.
Okay. Search
Because
your
some people may
candidates
not
by
even know the
race
candidates.
based on your address. So let's see. So we'll go by address again. You want to give me a Brooklyn address? Mix it up?
Yeah, I can give you a Brooklyn address.
Yeah, give me what's Borough Hall? I don't know.
Yeah, do 209 Joralemon Street, Joralmon, Brooklyn, New York.
I know how to spell Joralemon.
People spell it all kinds of ways.
That's for some time in BK.
Let's try Republican first.
Okay, let's look at Republican.
Show them some love.
Vote informed on every candidate and referendum. Well. So we see local candidates.
What's in the local
candidates? Not an official ballot. I don't see anything here. New York City mayor. Let's go. So this is about New York City mayor. So it has information on the mayor. I don't see anything. Well, let's see. Let's try this. Let's see what comes up here. Oh, so all the candidates. Okay. Well, that's different.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't finish populating the Republican side yet, but okay.
New York City mayor. So there's only 4 people. I know we have more than 4 people. Select an office to get started. Here we go. So here we are.
Oh, there they are.
So they have information.
Let's open Chang. See what it says.
So small business owner, JP Morgan Chase, managing director. MBA, NYU. More information is coming on this candidate soon. Okay. Oh, you have 0 of 5 selections made. Keep going. So I guess we could rank this candidate. I like that. Promoting ranked choice voting. Interesting. Okay. So they may have some information, but they have links to, it looks like, all of his social media and his website.
Interesting. Okay.
So let's see what other candidate we're going to look at
Who
here.
else don't we hear about often? We don't really hear about Catherine Garcia either.
Let's see.
Um,
Candidate for New York City mayor. Again, all of her social media sites rank this candidate. Okay, so she has a little bit more information here. Commissioner of Sanitation,
I did
COO.
not know that she worked for the City Department of Environmental Protection.
I didn't know that either.
Interesting.
I might have to come back to this later.
I know her as a
Yeah.
sanitation lady, but
Hmm.
not for DEP. Um, she went to Stuyvesant. Interesting. I think this is a pretty decent site as long as they have all the candidates up on there so you can look at them equally.
Yeah. Let's check out Paperboy Prince. He actually attended a candidates forum that I was co-sponsoring. So let's see. Paperboy Love Prince. Oh, he doesn't have anything. So he does have a website. He has Instagram, Twitter, and a website. Okay. Not a lot here. Um, my mom
Oh,
talks about this guy, but I'm also going to check out Jocelyn too.
yeah,
But my
let's check out
mom,
Jocelyn.
let's check out Jocelyn. But my mom always tells me about Isaac. I believe that he's like in a show. He has a very interesting story. I think he was wrongfully incarcerated or something.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay, not a lot of info. Rank the
But
candidate.
her
Um,
handles
oh,
are there.
yep,
Yeah.
handles and website are there. Okay, let me see. Let's check out Isaac. Let's see. ABC hit drama series executive producer. So that's my mom knows the show. Attorney. Yeah, I think he has. Yeah, he has a show. So mom was like, "What? You know?" She's like, "You know anything?" And I'm like, "I really don't." She was the one that told me about the TV show. Let's see, who else do we not hear much about? Who is this? Aaron. Is this Aaron? He actually also did our candidates forum. Aaron came about New York City mayor. You, the voter, will hire the politicians this year who will run New York City beginning in 2022. Of all of those new public officials, the mayor is the most important. Okay.
Interesting.
What does the mayor do for you, for your family, for the city? Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
So he
Interesting.
talks about the mayor, I guess, but what
Let's
is?
talk about the comptroller because that's one of those little secret positions. I mean, it's not secret, but most people don't have an idea
Yeah, they don't really know
what the
what the
comptroller
comptroller.
does.
And because I know some things about the comptroller's office, having dealt with city contracts and discretionary contracts, I'm always the one with like I have a few specific questions about what the comptroller does because I've had experience with the office. But most people, they kind of think I guess they handle the cash or something, which kind of sort of isn't really true because the mayor and the city council do the budget stuff. So let's see.
Yeah, they don't handle the budget.
We will hire a new comptroller who will serve as the caretaker for more than $300 billion in city money. So we need someone knowledgeable and scrupulously honest to take on this massive job or series of jobs. It's the financial overseer. Hmm. The
Oh, click that
comptroller.
one.
Where?
That one right here. The comptroller is especially important to the city's workers and over 300,000 retirees since part of the job is to protect and invest 222 billion. That's the piece. That's the part right there.
The
This is the
pension
part.
funds. The pension.
The pension funds is the part. That's important. Need somebody who has a background and knows what they're doing. So at least knows how to manage staff who know what they're doing.
And then you see here how they deal with the contracts.
It's a really important job. And I think it's something that people really gloss over, they overlook. No one really thinks about it because it's not one of those positions that are up front and center like mayor, you
Right.
know. But it's a really, really important job. And I think the position of comptroller is even more important right now, post pandemic and during the pandemic, than probably in other times when the city is on its high, because right now we're coming out of a recession. So it's a really important position.
There are 11 people running for comptroller.
There's a lot of people.
I stopped counting at 6, I think. Wow. I mean, I know a few people on the ballot. Wow. 11. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's sad that this position is not promoted that much because it's really important.
Yeah, and there's 11 people running. We did a comptroller's forum too. We went through all of the offices. Oh my goodness. But I don't even know if everybody was in the race at the time. So let's see. What's next?
All I know is don't mess with my money or my pension.
Where the money reside, where the money
Where my money
reside,
reside.
where the money reside.
Okay.
Brooklyn Borough President. I went to a forum, a Brooklyn BP forum. There's a lot of candidates for that as well.
The only BP that's up for re-election is Donovan Richards, right?
Yep.
Everyone else is term limited out. So 4 of the 5 borough presidents will go. They're termed out.
Yep. Okay. So the current Brooklyn Borough President is running for mayor, Eric Adams. What do we have? Staten Island Borough President is term limited out.
Oh.
There's a lot of people running too. There might be somebody on the Democratic line, but I know there are several on the Republican line as well, who are running. And then Manhattan, of course, Manhattan Borough President is term limited. Bronx, Ruben Diaz Jr. is term limited. So this is an interesting site.
Yeah. Everyone should really check it out.
Let's see.
Okay, we got like 2 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Oh, but who's counting? All right, so I think this is all. I think we help people quite a bit tonight. If people come back, check out this video later. So it's elect.nyc for the voter guide to learn more about the candidates. It's a one-stop shop. Even if they don't have information on the candidates, it seems like they have at least the links to the candidates' social media, their websites, so you can find information there on the candidates. So we show people how to find their poll site, view their sample ballot. Again, the poll site information. This is who's going to be on the ballot. Viewing poll site information. Early voting information, early voting location. We show people where they can go, voter lookup.elections.ny.gov. So they have voter lookup information so they can make sure they are still registered to vote because they could have been purged in error. It's happened before. And we show people how to find their absentee ballot, which was at NYC Absentee. So fill out an absentee ballot application here. And also very important to remember, when you're inputting this information, it should be the information that you use when you registered. So if you know you're still registered at your parents' address, that's the zip code you should use. If you're using a married name or maiden name, that is the name you should use when you input this information. Because if you're looking this up, your voter lookup or this, it probably won't find you. So if it doesn't find you, just make sure you're using the correct zip code, the correct last name in case anything changed. And then another one-stop shop, which is my website. New York State resources with links to all this information. It will take you where you need to go. Checking your registration status, ranked choice voting information, poll site locator, Board of Elections, NYC votes. So a lot of fun resources. All right, and it's 10 o'clock.
All right, but one last thing. If you recently moved into New York State and you want to register to vote, the deadline is May 28th. So just remember that and, fill that out. The deadline to register is May 28th. I don't know if I just said that correctly. I'm tired. Sorry.
No, it's true. The deadline to register to vote is May 28th. The deadline to change your address if you're already registered is June 2nd. So make sure, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot is June 15th. But request it as soon as possible. Give people time to mail it out, get it back to you, etc. So you want to just request it early. Do it now. The website is up. And I think, are we done for this evening?
I think so.
All right, look for us next week. More voting information and shenanigans. We are 32 days away from early voting, 42 days or 6 weeks from the June 22nd primary. All right, stay informed. Have a good night.
Night, Nicole.